Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. It's a sunny Wednesday evening. Delighted to be joined by one of Britain's most exciting boxing prospects, Shabaz the Maverick Masoud. Shabaz, how are you, mate?
Alhamdulillah, man, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you for asking. It's been a long time since I've spoken to you. A lot's changed in your life since the last time we've done an interview. But yeah, firstly, how's family? How's life? How's life in Essex?
Yeah, family's good. I'm still living in Stoke-on-Trent, but I'm basing my camps down here in Essex with Ben Davison.
Excellent. And obviously, as I said, it's been a while since we last spoke to you.
Yeah.
Change in your career. You're training with Ben Davison, likes of Lee Wood as well, and obviously you're part of the new era with pro-bellum, who are putting on some very, very exciting shows. Just talk to me about the decision with signing with pro-bellum.
To be honest with you, I had offers from pretty much all the promoters, and I could have gone with anyone, but pro-bellum seemed right for me, and it was the right move at the right time. So alhamdulillah, everything happens for a reason, and it's a blessing that I've signed with them, because since I've signed with them, I've got out in November, got out in March, and I should be out in this just before the summer as well.
When speaking to like the casual boxing fan about pro-bellum, there was a lot of doubts with the new era.
Yeah.
Obviously, more competition in boxing, more promoters, more management. Obviously, a lot of people looked at Ben Davison and said that if it was going to take off, he'd be one of the sole reasons as to why, because he's arguably one of the biggest grafters in boxing right now. How much of a part did Ben Davison have to play, but also how much of the part did Sam Jones have to play as well?
Ben Davison, like, even being in the gym around him all the time, he literally boxing's his life. Like, you'll see that guy in the gym 7 a.m. He won't leave the gym till 8 at night. And sometimes when like everyone's in camp or sparring has to come later and other things, he'll be in the gym all day till 9 o'clock at night. People don't see that. And even pro-bellum, I knew Sam for a long time, and I've always heard really good things about him. I never had a bad word to say about him. And once I signed with pro-bellum, got to know him as well, and he's a proper great guy as well.
Sometimes he gets a bit of criticism, which obviously happens in life. Sometimes criticism helps people go further.
Listen, if you ain't got haters, you ain't popping, bro. That's how it works. You know that yourself, man. Anytime you do well in life, you're gonna get people this and that, but it's a part of it, man. It's a part of the game, innit? It's all a part. Even like anyone in the public eye, they're gonna get judged because everyone has an opinion nowadays. But it is what it is.
What's it been like for you working closely with Sam Jones? What's the experience been like?
Oh, very good. I like him a lot. Like him, he's on the job. He's always wants best for the fighters, and even with Richard Schaefer as well, they're doing a good job with pro-bellum. So,
with the majority of the pro-bellum shows likely to be out in places such as Dubai, what does that mean for yourself in terms of going for these domestic titles, the Commonwealth?
I'll be honest. I feel like these titles now, I'm past that stage. When I was at that stage and I was calling for the fights, I didn't get the fights because of politics and other reasons. However, I fought a lot higher opposition than that, and it shows even on BoxRec. I'm ranked number 2. I'm ranked higher than everyone apart from Jason Cunningham, and I genuinely think I'd beat him as well. I'll beat him quite comfortably as well.
These are fighters that are active fighters. Jason Cunningham, Brad Foster, Andrew Kane fighting regularly, most of them on Queensbury shows. Are these fights that you're still going to be open to, Shabaz, or are you looking to take a different route now?
To be honest with you, I'm ranked higher than these guys. If anything, like the way I'm doing my thing, I let like management and my coach deal with everything, and I just get in there and beat them. And you know what? They're gonna put a target on my back. I've called for the big fights before when I was coming through. No one wanted to fight, but the way it is, I'm number 2 in the super bantamweight rankings. Let me fight and watch. I'll be in that number 1 spot, and they'll all know. And then they'll all have to fight.
No, obviously, the last time I spoke to you a few years ago was probably before we went into a national lockdown, and you
Yeah.
said that you're the type of guy that will take any challenge thrown to him. It seems pretty obvious that maybe those fights at British level might not happen now because of where you think you are in your career.
Yeah, it's like British champion, the lads who are fighting for the titles. Like, I'm ranked higher than them. Like, what is the point? It's pointless. At the end of the day, I'm just gonna let my management get me the better fights to put me in the best possible position for me. You know what I mean? And I've even with the WBA, I'm number 13 in the world. I'm 10 fights in. That's huge. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna carry on building, let management do whatever. But I'm one of them. Like, you know me, Faisal. Like, I ain't shy away from nobody. So if someone does want the smoke, they can come get some. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Shabaz, on his question, when do you think you're ready for a potential world title shot?
Listen, I'm in the gym. Other than Ramadan, Ramadan's the only time I go home. Other than that, week in, week out, I'm in this gym down here, working away because I know my end goal. I don't want to be just a world champion. I want to be a multi-weight world champion. That takes a lot of dedication, hard work, a lot of sacrifice. Even at home, you got to focus on boxing. Boxing is my life. You eat it, sleep it, watch it, train, and literally that's how I'm living.
You, as I said, you're part of a good team. Ben Davison behind you, the likes of Lee Wood, who was probably involved in one of the fights of the century with.
Lovely fight.
Other great fighters such as Royston Barney Smith, who was on the Fury White undercard.
Got Josh Taylor, Lee McGregor. You got the McCormack twins here now. Mark Dickinson, like all the boys here, Will Coley, like all the boys here, very talented fighters, and we're bringing each other on, and we're all coming through. Give it 4 or 5 years, everyone in this gym is going to be doing big bits.
What's it like being part of such an action-packed stable? What do you guys learn from each other on a day-to-day basis?
It's just bringing each other on, learning from Ben all the time. It's good. All the lads push each other on. Everyone's on the same goal here as well, so it's good vibes, man.
One of the names you mentioned in that stable is obviously undisputed super lightweight champion Josh Taylor.
Yeah.
Who's been under a lot of criticism because of the Jack Catterall fight. I've not spoken to you about that. It's obviously now, that was obviously back at the end of February. It's been a few months now. What's your thoughts on that, Shabaz?
To be honest with you, bro, like it's how the judges see the fight. Some score aggression, some score the cleaner work. It's one of them. He got the decision. It was a close fight, don't get me wrong, but he did get the decision, and who knows? I reckon they will have a rematch, but who knows?
Well, yesterday the WBC ordered Jose Zepeda as his #1 mandatory, but do you think the next fight for Josh Taylor should be that rematch with Jack Catterall, or would you like to see him in the ring with a mandatory such as Zepeda?
To be honest with you, I can't really comment on his situation because, like, that's his situation, and I know if I was in his situation, I'd want to fight them all. You know what I mean? But I don't know. He's got to do what's best for him. You know what I mean? And he'll probably have a chat to the team and see what's the right option. Because there's a lot of politics in the game as well, so you got to know what's right for you behind the scenes.
Okay, moving on. Amir Khan last week announced his retirement from professional boxing. I just want to get your thoughts on the announcement. Was it the right thing to do, or would you have liked to have seen him have another dance?
It was the right thing to do. I feel like he's done everything. Like, he doesn't need to achieve any more. He's done literally everything, and he's financially stable. He's happy, healthy, alhamdulillah. So he doesn't need to prove anything more. Like, there's young welterweights now who be calling his name out. Like, in his prime, he was the boy. You know what I mean? Like, no one, like, only the elite would get in with him, and he's got nothing else to prove, man. So he needs to just go off into the sunset, man. Enjoy life. You know what I mean?
Obviously, your situation, being a young British Asian boxer, people will always ask the question, where is the next Prince Nassim Hamid? Where is the next Amir Khan? But we've got a good crop of fighters now, especially
Very good.
the Asian, Pakistani, British community, such as yourself, Hamza Shiraz. You got the Azim brothers. Do you feel as if this current era could perhaps go one better than Amir Khan did? Because we could be potentially looking at
I'll
another.
be honest. The names you just mentioned, like I feel like all of these boys with the right work put in, the right dedication, and by living the life, like every one of us could become a world champion. But it's like I can only do what's best for me, you know what I mean, and what's right for me. As long as I stay dedicated, I'm gonna be the man, you know what I mean.
When we obviously spoke, whenever we've spoken, we've always spoken about Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, and how much you look up to him and how much you rate his boxing skills. The last time we spoke was many years ago. Things have changed massively. He's world champion again. He's just given the biggest crowd in British boxing history at Wembley. But he claimed after the fight that he's done with boxing, that he's retired. Do you think that's the last time we're going to see Tyson Fury?
Do you know what it is? When you're at his level and the buzz he must get walking out, like, it'd be hard for me to see that he's actually gone. I reckon he will come back for another fight, especially if it's the right fight. Like, who knows, him and AJ could be the biggest fight in boxing ever. You know what I mean? So I reckon he'd come out for that fight. But that's Tyson's situation, you know what I mean? He's got nothing else to prove. I do think he's the number one heavyweight in the world. So
when Eddie Hearn talks about Tyson Fury, he obviously, gives credit to Tyson Fury, and I'm glad he does, rightfully so. But he also states that Tyson Fury can't go down as an all-time great if he doesn't beat Usyk or Joshua, beating the Vladimir Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, Derek Chisora, and Dillian White. Do you think that it's important to have that undisputed crown or Usyk and Joshua's name on his record before he does 100% retire?
I think regardless of the situation, if he's left boxing today, which he said he has, he will still go down an all-time great because of the way he has handled life. Like, he was in depression and came back from that. So he will go down as an all-time great. But a few boxing fans will say, oh, he ducked that fight, he didn't take that fight. But I don't think that interests him at the moment. But I don't know. It's a good question, to be fair, Faisal. It's a good question, man.
That's why I do what I do, Shabaz. All right, Shabaz, give me your honest thoughts on what you made of Canelo Alvarez's defeat to Dimitri Bivol a few weeks ago.
Genuinely, like, I think Canelo was relying too much on his power and single shots, whereas I think, what it is as well, he was just, if you look like he had an off night, man, I'll be honest with you. Like, he was poor. Like, Canelo's a lot better than that. But I reckon in the rematch, he may end up beating Bivol.
Is the next move, do you think the right move is a third fight with Triple G, or do you think he should take the rematch? Because Bivol has stated he's willing to come down to 168 pounds to fight for all the belts at super middleweight, and he's confident that he beats Canelo at 168. What would you personally think he should do next?
To be honest with you, he should just stay at the same weight, keep his advantage, and guess what? Beat him again. He'll get paid more money, and he's beat like the pound for pound number one twice. But if he comes down to 168, will the size make a difference? Will it play a factor? Who knows? But if I was him in his position, I'd just stay in the same weight. But obviously, Canelo is the pound for pound number one star, and a lot of what he says goes, you know what I mean?
Okay, Shabaz, before we bring the interview to an end, the floor's all yours. What does the next year to 18 months hold in store for Shabaz Maverick Masoud? What can the fans expect?
Titles, man. Strap season. I've been saying this, like, literally, my last two opponents, one box for an interim title, Diego Ruiz against Michael Conlan. the French lad I just boxed in Dubai, he boxed Inoue for a world title. They didn't sanction me to box none of them for titles. And I was saying, they boxed for a world title, he's boxed Conlan for a title. Why am I not getting a title? But listen, I should have had a title 2 fights ago. And I was calling for a title since my 5th fight. But it is what it is. And listen, scrap season's here now. I've told them literally, if I ain't getting a title, I don't want to fight. Like, there's no point, man.
Well, I've been following you now for many years. I remember interviewing you all the way back at Shamrock Boxing Gym.
No, I remember, man.
You've come so far. So listen, just be a bit patient for longer.
You know what's crazy? That's only been 2 years, 2.5 years. And look how forward they've come from then. But imagine in another 2 years, how much more further we're going to be. Just day by day. Like, I know, no matter how long it takes me, I'm going to get there.
Right, well, Shabaz, listen, thank you very much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. It's been good finally getting to speak to you. It's been such a long time. I thought you might have forgotten about me at one stage.
No, come on, man. As soon as you messaged me, I wrote Faisal from Luton. I was straight away in my mind. I remember, man, you were always flipping. I used to interview me them days, come on, man.
I'm only messing.
Well, if you ever need to interview anything, bro, or you're flipping, just give me a message,
I've got your number now, so you're going to be hearing a lot more from me in the future.
Perfect, Faisal. Perfect, my brother, yeah.
Shabaz, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck going into the rest of the year, and we look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thank you, my brother. Assalamu alaikum, yeah.